One of the weirdest things I see now and then during the holidays is an attempt to combine the more secular or pagan holiday traditions with Christian ones. It always feels weird to me. Sure, there are a few times when it's worked. Charles Dickens's Christmas Carol is the prime example. The book is full of both pagan and Christian imagery and ideas, and it manages to meld the two together pretty well. But in a special made for a general family audience, it kind of makes me tilt my head a bit. And that's what we have here with Nestor, the long-eared Christmas donkey. Add a few more words and you'd have a proper light novel title. The special starts by introducing us to Spielto, played by our narrator, Roger Miller, who is Santa's donkey. He's the one responsible for pulling around carts of toys and dragging the snowplow, though he lives in the same stable with all the other reindeer. And he starts telling us the story of his ancestor, Nestor, who was born around the same time as baby Jesus. He was born with unusually long ears, which he's constantly taunted for and is always tripping over them. Hell, his owner even refuses to feed him, since his tripping basically makes him useless around the farm. After an incident where the Roman soldiers come and take all the donkeys but Nestor, he and his mother are thrown out into the cold where his mother dies trying to protect him. Geez, this special is getting dark. But then Nestor meets a cherub, yes, a tiny little angel-winged cherub, who says that they are there to guide Nestor to what he is supposed to do, which just so happens to be carrying Joseph and Mary on their journey to Bethlehem. I don't really know what to think of this special. It's just such an odd mix of light-hearted and serious and of different ideas. I mean, it's a rather cute story, matricide aside, but I'm on the fence about whether or not I enjoyed it. It basically follows the same sort of template that Rudolph's story does, with Nestor being laughed at and ostracized by everyone because of his physical difference, but then the special's message is people who are different can still do wonderful and extraordinary things. Different characters, different settings, but the similarities are vast enough that I can't help but draw the comparison. It's another short special too, which in this case is good because I kind of feel like if it were any longer, it'd probably overstay its welcome a bit. Nestor is a bit of a crybaby, but in terms of any sort of trait beyond that and his long ears, he's about as flat and boring as Rudolph was in the original special. In fact, in terms of characters, there aren't really any. There are people and animals with names, but I can't really tell you much about any of them, especially since a lot of them don't stay with us long. The donkey breeder never comes back after tossing Nestor out, his mother dies right after that, even the cherub is basically only with us for a song montage and then heads off himself. The story itself is presented decently, it actually flows pretty well, but I'd compare it to Frosty in that regard. The story is there, but it basically just takes us from point A to point B without really taking the time to establish any characters, Nestor included. Heck, the character that has the most personality in the entire special is probably Spielto, our narrator, who not only narrates but also sings most of the songs himself, too. And to be fair, he's not a bad singer. Doesn't have a bad speaking voice either. It's another calm, easygoing, very country-ish delivery, which I feel fits a narrator pretty well for what he views as just a bit of casual storytelling. The songs, though, well, I didn't think that they were badly sung, but none of them stuck out to me as particularly noteworthy or interesting. The title track was, don't laugh and make someone cry, well, the title basically sums it up, and I don't even remember Follow the Angels from my viewing of the special, so musically it was pretty forgettable. In terms of animation, it was perfectly fine. It was about on par with the last two specials I watched, but I will give it credit for really stretching just how many models they can have moving in a single scene. I mean, we've seen some impressive model numbers in previous specials, like the dance number in Shiny New Year, but that was a synchronized number. Here, there are a bunch of animals walking around and moving on their own, and not only does it help the scene look more natural and alive, but I think it's just impressive in its own right. I don't have much more to say about this one. It's a big shrug from me. While I felt that the premise was a little weird, mixing Santa with the Bible and everything, the special itself really doesn't leave me feeling anything at all after I've watched it. Not helped by the fact that I've seen this sort of story before in other Rankin Bass specials, and I enjoyed it a lot more there than I did here.